Hey guys, Tbull here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Jean Bart here, Tier 7 French Battleship. Dunkirk's the build. Slot 2, we got the perk that allows you to switch the shells immediately, or within about a second, if you got the guns reloaded. It doesn't really come into play this game. We got Greece Domination Mode. This is actually a short fill game. A lot of times I wouldn't ever consider showing these type of games, but this one there's a few pretty interesting concepts and good illustrations of what we really want to be doing. So we're going to take a look at it. My goal here, you see that left island kind of in the, to the left of the ship there, to the right of the map. That's our goal. We're going to pop the speed boost right away. They got one cruiser. It's a Cleveland. We both got carriers, and they got some dangerous battleships. To match us, they got a Ritchie Tier 7, but then they got a pair of Yamatos and a Grover, and these are ships we don't want to be fooling around with. So we could do the typical high tier gameplay. We could drop the anchor, put the controller down, and look at the game through the binoculars. We're not going to do that. We're going to pull forward, get on this island, hopefully get there without getting blown up, because once again, these ships will definitely be able to damage us. But if we can do that, then we can probably, take it easy for a couple minutes, catch our breath, use a heal, and then see what sort of play develops. Okay, we got the lone destroyer advantage, but they got Cleveland, okay? We don't have a cruiser, so the main goal for us is to kill the Cleveland. If we can do that, that'll give us, or give the destroyer room to breathe, hopefully. Now, keep an eye on what the carrier does on the red team here. He plays this quite well. I think both carrier players have a pretty good game here, but he's going to focus on the destroyer. The destroyer will capture C, actually, but then after that, the destroyer will be removed. So he does a pretty good job of kind of focusing his attention on him early. We don't know that's going to take place yet, though, so we're definitely noticing the Cleveland there. We did take a early shot on him. We did dodge, but we're still trying to get over to that island as quickly as possible. You can see shots coming in periodically from the right. There's another shot from the Cleveland. There's a big boomer there that we don't want to be fooling around with, taking a nasty whack from the Grover. And we do give it back to the Cleveland there. But now we got Yamato fire coming in. Not looking good. Okay, and here's another juicy salvo here. And we need to get behind this island. That's kind of the name of the game here. Almost got the guns reloaded. Do get a quick shot off right before we disengage. And now we pop the damage con. That's a little early there. You can see we did take a little bit more damage. But now would be a good time to pop the damage con, because we're gonna basically park here, wait for the heal to cycle, and let the play develop just a little bit. That's what's the intention at this moment. And since that's going to take a little while, the majority of the damage con cycle, in fact, then we can use it without worrying about really getting shot. So had we gotten a fire that stuck on us here, we'd probably be lamenting that damage con. Anyways, keeping an eye on the game here now, you can see the destroyer attempting to capture C, carrier swarming him. So we can assume he's probably in the smoke trying to capture the base. Cleveland spotted here. I'm trying to back up because once again, the main idea here is to get the heal off. We took a lot of damage, about 40% of our ship's damage just to get in this position. Want to get some of that back, but at the same time, it'd be nice to be shooting, right? Because we haven't really pulled the trigger in about a minute. It's going to be another minute or two as the play develops. But, if we could back up, get a shot off, that'd be nice. That's the idea. But now we're kind of looking at the map here and just noticing, okay, the base is about to be captured, so we're going to have a background point advantage. I'm hoping the destroyer immediately goes over to B. I didn't yet notice how much harassment this carrier was really giving them. But ideally, from my perspective, we'd go get B. And then I'm thinking to myself, look at these guys. They're going all the way back to the moon. They all have it in reverse. And you can see they're all out of my blue detection ring, barring the Cleveland, okay? And I can really get south of A, reposition, maybe capture the base. That's ideally what I'd like to do, is get A. If the Cleveland gets spotted, maybe we can kill him. Or if he's kind of still hiding behind that group of islands, he might spot me here and there for a second or two, but we might, as we pull forward even more, drop him again behind the other island. So I'm going to be trending south here. We want to be staying away from these guys. Cleveland pops right up. He was actually peeking right around this corner here, which is nice. Go ahead and fire. Pop the reload boost. Not quite yet. There it goes. Should have been a little bit quicker on that one. But I was hoping to kill him with one shot, and then we didn't want to waste it, I think was the thinking. But nevertheless, he's not aware of the reload booster. He's not taking it into account. Rather than continue to back up, pulls forward, and we do get another shot on there, and now he's low. and the team's chiming in. And he won't be around for too much longer. I can't remember if I kill him or one of the teammates. Doesn't really matter. The point is we got the most, our prime target off the board right away. So that's a pretty good move there. And now we continue to create space. You can see the majority of our battleship fleet clumped up in between B and C. We're currently about 2 squares away from that, and I think we're actually going to achieve a 3 square separation. And that's going to provide access to a lot of broadsides. That's going to, allow us to use this geometry and really take it to these guys. You can see we only have about 40k damage so far. Do get a free shot off on the Richie. He's at max range, but we were behind the island. And we get a decent little whack there. But now we're saying to ourselves, okay, the Yamato's blocked, and then the other 2 ships are currently outside the blue ring. Perhaps we can begin to trend into A. You got to keep an eye on this A island here. There's this little gator mouth or whatever it is, crocodile, and you can actually see ships through there. So you do need to be cognizant of that, both when shooting or even just moving into A. Potentially these ships would spot us. So I want to still stay to the right-hand side of this island, remain blocked as long as possible. And then basically, since everyone on our team's to the southeast of B, those guys are going to be forced to angle towards them, right? It's the only logical choice. You should be angling against the majority of the threats. But us over here, now we have our 3 square separation. And if they angle towards those guys, you can see we're pointing right at broadsides that are pointing at that team over there. So it took a little bit of, patience. And we didn't force the play too early here, but we did recognize the opportunity when it arose to reposition safely, which is tough to do at Legendary Tier. I understand part of the fascination with sitting still at Legendary Tier is it is dangerous out there. There's a lot of dangerous ships, and if you expose yourself trying to reposition, sometimes you die. But we basically waited for them to do what they're going to do, which is back all the way up, and then we took advantage of it, took advantage of the speed and the ability to move into a different position with the concealment, and now it's going to start paying off, okay? And here you can see Richie's pointing at him, Yamato's pointing at him there, the other Yamato on the backs. They're all angled exactly where we'd expect them to be, hoping this Yamato pulls out here. Now we got 30 seconds or so until that reload boost pops up. We did pop the heal, even though it was kind of a partial heal. We didn't have a lot of light damage to heal. That was kind of banked. But we want to basically be making our mark on the game right here. So we go ahead and take the opportunity to get as much health as possible. The Flyboy does turn his attention to us now. He did kill the destroyer very wisely, and now he's probably looking on the map saying I can attack a clump of 3 battleships or the dude that's by himself. Of course he's going to go for me. Don't blame him for that. Once again, I think he is a pretty good carrier player based on the limited time I spent paying attention to what he was doing this game. But, he's kind of playing it how I'd like to have him play it. So at this point in time, we're like, okay, we got a Yamato. If he pulls forward, he can kill us. We got the Richie, who was last seen streaming over here. We got another Yamato. We want to continue to get these shots, but I'm thinking, okay, well, this carry is going to start focusing me. We're probably not going to be around here for too much longer. What's the best impact we can have? Okay, Richie's screaming out of here quickly. Do have the reload boost available, and we go ahead and pop it right on launch. This time, a better boost. He does immediately angle in. He's going to beach on this island here. Not a bad play. I'm going to try and... should have aimed up just a smidge higher there. Aim more for the superstructure. You can see we did get 1 ricochet. Had that been a full superstructure hit, perhaps he would have died there. He retaliates against the gun. Yamato's shooting. We can't angle against that, of course. Only 10 seconds left on the heal. So we're thinking, well, this might be the last shot, but let's see what we can do. Back it up, back it up. Don't use the speed boost when you're backing up. That's kind of a bug. But it's a bug that they're aware of, and they have no intention of fixing. They think it's kind of a balancing aspect of the speed boost. If you're trying to back up, it actually will slow you down. Okay, so I don't know if that's universally applicable or just on certain ships, but I do remember that discussion occurring with the developers a while ago. So it's possible it changed, but I don't believe so. Nevertheless, we got about double our damage in terms of HP. We have 70,000 HP Jean Bart. We got just shy of 140 in a game where we're up tiered against the majority of legendary tier ships that can all brutalize us. Okay, the Cleveland can brutalize us, the Yamatos, the Grover, everyone, the carrier. So we did pretty well, and that was all coming down to the play where we moved. Okay, if we sit there in the back launching shells at angled ships, we don't get any damage. Okay, here's the other thing we wanted to talk about. Now, these guys are taking these fights. We're down 4-3, right? But these guys are taking fights 2v1, 2v1, 2v1. This is how you lose games where you have the ship advantage. Disregarding caps, disregarding, capture the base, any of that. The other way you lose games is you keep attacking into numerically disadvantageous things. So even though they have 4 ships to 3 to start with, these guys engage 2v1 on the first guy. Now he slams on the brakes here, you can see, which is going to make it hard for the carrier to attack as well. They're potentially using the will to rebuild, but once again, they both have shots at the right-hand Yamato there, whereas the guy to the north of the island has no shots on either of them. So this is, again, even though now we're tied, but initially we were down ships. And this is just a wicked shot, by the way. This is the second or third time I've seen that, and I thought it was amazing. It must have been a cheek shot, but it still, it looked like it was pretty well angled to me. Anyway, they're pressing the numerical advantage despite initially being down. So how you do that, like we have the cap advantage is blue, so they're kind of forced to move into us. If we wanted to sit there and collect points in the background, we can take the win that way. Or if they want to contend the game, they have to push into these ships, either try and kill them all or capture the bases, or at least normalize the base situation. But then, even though you may be down in ships, you can come up with defensive positions and attack in numerically superior situations. So look out for that. Here I'm thinking this Conqueror is going for the ram. It'd be a pretty decent play. Ideally, like the lower health Conqueror to have rammed this guy. But the back Conqueror elects to not actually go for the ram here. He does get the guns. I'm thinking he probably had AP loaded when I saw this unfolding, trying to shoot down and into the ship, but he does have HE salvos loaded, and he just slugs them there and takes them down, crumples them, which is a pretty vicious shot. So these guys played pretty well here. I think one of them gets the top score. The other one probably scored pretty well as well. And then we'll get the second best score. Pretty decent Jean Bart game, I thought. Again, a little bit different. You can consider this more of like a ranked match with the lower ship count, but I thought the geometry of the play, hopefully that'll form you as a battleship player rather than just sitting in one spot the whole game until you're forced to move because the action's moved on. Look for opportunities to create that space and create those crossfires. Yes, we did get focused by the carrier once we kind of isolated, but it was still worth it. We got 2 battleships worth of damage done on the enemy team. They only got one battleship's worth of damage done on me. Okay, so we basically killed 2 battleships worth of HP. They only killed 1 in terms of my production. So that's how we evaluate those type of games, especially with battleships. Anyway, we'll trim it there. The left-hand Conqueror gets killed by the carrier. Our carrier spots him, and then the Conqueror on the right ends up killing him. So hopefully you guys did enjoy that one. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. We got lots of World of Warships is coming all the time for you. Questions, comments, leave them below. I do love to hear from you guys, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.